What's up, everybody? You're back with me, Ian Kane. A huge welcome to this week's installment of DappRadar Meets. The date is Wednesday, June the 29th. Can you believe it? June is almost over. This year is flying. A huge hello to all the wonderful listeners. Thanks for tuning into another episode. It's really cool to be here. I feel like I haven't been here for ages, actually. I think I had like a week off. Feels like a year. I hope you're having a good week so far. As always, we record these sessions for people to catch up. If you missed any of the previous shows, you can get them on YouTube. Just go over to there, type in DappRadar, and you will find hundreds of educational and analytical videos to help you on your journey. And also today, in today's AMA, we have some prizes up for those that are brave enough to ask questions. So we have 500 ZIL tokens to give away to the 5 best questions. So that's 100 ZIL per good question. Don't be shy, guys. If you've got a question for the team at Zilliqa, jump on in, and we'd love to hear it. Today, I'm excited to welcome 2 guests to the stage. Usually we have 1, so maybe I'm going to get like double teamed here, but hopefully I can control these 2 guys. We've got Tiago and Kevin from Zilliqa to talk about their smart contract blockchain. I'm just going to do a quick sound check, make sure we have both of them here. Are you there, guys?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. Always a pleasure.
Nice. Kimsey's in the house. Tiago? Not so much for Tiago. Or he's just being reserved. Tiago, I think you're on mute. If you want to sort that out, that might be your problem.
For sure, he will unmute himself in a few seconds. So how are you, Jan?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm having a pretty good day. The only downside is 27.5 degrees in my office today. So I'm a little bit hot. That's probably my worst thing for today. But yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing?
Great, great. It's time for ice cream, actually. Oh, Thiago is here.
Thiago, are you there? Giving me a message.
Oh, it's his microphone who have an issue.
Yeah, I think he's got a problem here. Tiago, I think the best thing to do is to jump off and come back in. In the meantime, Gibbsy, let's storm ahead, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, 1 second. I'm just going to mute. Okay. All right, cool. So I've got a little bit of news to run through, actually. So in that time, hopefully, Kimsey, Tiago can make it up to the stage. So let me just give me a few minutes. I'll run through some bits and bobs, and then we will jump straight back in, okay?
Perfect.
So, cool, man. So in radar news this week, we've actually it was last week we launched our first community bounty contest in collaboration with Layer 3. Through these bounties, community members will get the first kind of taste of what contribute to earn is going to look like on DappRadar. And we have the ambition. It's a Dapp Store ecosystem built by millions and used by billions. So the very first bounty, which is DappRadar and Layer 3 will introduce, is to integrate NFT marketplaces to the DappRadar GitHub repository. Developers and Web3 enthusiasts interested in joining the bounty can simply just go to the GitHub repository, and you'll find the place there where you can contribute. So what happens is community members and Web3 enthusiasts, they can add NFT marketplaces on Ethereum, BNB Chain, Polygon, and Avalanche for the first bounty. We asked that the community to add the Radio Kaka market and the Bomb Crypto marketplace to BNB Chain. In addition, we've got bounties for adding NFT Key and Kalau, which are 2 NFT marketplaces on Avalanche. After they make the contributions, the team at DappRadar manually confirm those and approve the correct contributions, and those that have had their contributions approved receive Radar, the native token of the Radar ecosystem. So as I said, these are the first steps of kind of getting towards this contribute to earn system that DappRadar is heading towards. So it's pretty exciting, and as some of you may have seen, anybody that's invested in DappRadar, you will have seen quite significant price movement in the last couple of days. And a lot of that is based around what we're talking about in terms of our product. And yeah, we're pushing forward. We're practicing what we preach. We keep talking about a builder's market. Well, that's what we're doing. In other news, what's been happening in the world of Dapps? I will admit I had to play catch up. Seems as I've been out a little bit, but the first thing I saw was that hackers have stolen 100 million from Harmony's Horizon Bridge, another bridge hack. On the flip side of that, we saw that the Ronin Bridge has actually reopened. That's Axie Infinity's bridge. That's great news for the gaming space in total. And also, Axie are kind of outlining their ambition to become the blockchain of choice for games. We've seen other stuff as well. Solana's made history with a mobile-free web phone. Binance has actually bailed out Solend. Interesting story there as well from Solana. And we also started looking at tokens on DappRadar that were hot in the bull market to see if they hold any potential for the next cycle. So far, we've took a look at Sand and Matic. So if you're holding any of them and you're not really sure what you bought, or perhaps somebody's advised you, or you know the usual procedure, maybe you're not sure what you've got there. So we've written a couple of articles, outlines all the details. Really worth having a look at. It gives you an idea of whether you should be holding or selling, really. But obviously not financial advice. You make your own decisions. So yeah, and also we've dived headfirst into a Solana NFT collection. It's making some real loud noise right now called Primates. So yeah. Those things and lots more all over on the DappRadar blog. Don't go there now, because right now to the main event. And as everyone knows, every week we sit down with blockchains, dApps, NFT collections, and we like to dig in and see what they are all about. Most importantly, putting a human face on the project and giving you guys a chance to ask those tricky questions. As I mentioned, 500 ZIL tokens up for grabs today to the 5 best questions, so don't be shy. All right, guys, let's do another sound check. Tiago, are you there?
Check 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me?
He's having some issues. We will continue onwards, okay? Right. So I think I've warmed everybody up. Let's jump straight into the elevator pitch, Kimsey. I want you to pretend you're stuck in an elevator with me for 1 minute. I'm sorry. You want to impress me and tell me all about Zilliqa and why developers and the broader audience should be paying attention. No pressure.
Easy going, absolutely. So if I'm stuck with you, it will be funny actually, but sure. Sure. So who we are? Zilliqa is a layer 1. We were the pioneer into sharding system. And I can give you 3 advice. It's not a financial advice also, but mostly why Zilliqa is super interesting. Also for the developers, for the community, for the gamers, and at the same time for the future of the metaverse. First of all, we are super good into, let's say, UX, into ViewBlock. It's our kind of Etherscan, if you prefer, for people who are using Ethereum. You can see every transaction, every wallet, every send token, and there is many on our blockchain. At the same time, all the NFTs. And the second part will be now about the gaming. So I was a pro gamer of Counter-Strike, and we are developing right now a lot of, I will say, super competitive game. Not Ponzi, not play to earn bullshit, mostly focus into real competitive games. What does it mean? That means basically you will be able to face your best friend, your friends, your worst enemy, whoever you want, having fun with them into a 5v5 or 10 versus 10 different game modes. And imagine if all of you played Counter-Strike or other FPS games, it will be the same immersion, but with a real economy behind it, with real NFTs that you will be able to sell, to trade, to stack, to lend, many different type. At the same time, we are building other games that will come soon with more info. But this is a kind of alpha I'm giving to your community also. On the other side, we are having a metaverse that is metaverse as a service. That's a bit different from other metaverse for a few reasons. Let's say big companies like I don't want to put some names, but let's say like Aston Martin, Dolce & Gabbana, Gucci, will be able basically to sell some NFTs. But the different stuff with these NFTs is not only you will receive these NFTs in the metaverse and being able to wear it in the metaverse, but with a future platform that will open on our blockchain, which name is Rialto, you will be able to receive the t-shirt, as an example, as a Gucci t-shirt NFTs, you will receive it also in real life. So that means you will be able to spend your tokens, different type of tokens, into this platform, wear this NFT in the metaverse, and also receive it in real life, which is a new way, let's say, into the Web3.
Cool, pretty cool. Nice, Kevin. I think you did a pretty good job there. I'm pretty interested in Zilliqa now. I think we should keep talking. Let's keep going, shall we? But you've just piqued my interest right at the beginning there, Kevin. You I always like to go backwards after the little introduction and kind of get an idea of who people are that we're talking to. So I want you to tell me about yourself a little bit, Kevin, but you said something there about Counter-Strike and you said something about being a professional player. I want to know more about this and why now you're in this other space. This sounds cool.
Absolutely. So to give you a little feedback, little background stories about me, I'm in crypto since 2013. I was interested in Bitcoin because this was a new way to send money all across the world without paying the bank fees. As an example, I'm living in Switzerland and I have some friends that live in France. When I transfer them 1,000 euro, the bank will take, let's say, 10%, so 100. While with Bitcoin, it will cost me only a few cents. And for me, that was a revolution in my mind. Like, wow, crypto is really something new. So I kind of started to dig into the rabbit hole. And since, let's say, 2017, 2018, I'm really into DeFi applications. That's why I'm so happy to have you today, DappRadar, because I used you so much in my past time, let's say.
All right. Okay. So you were like quite a heavy user of our platform to uncover. So tell us what a lot of people ask me questions like, what do I use DappRadar for, Ian? Then you tell people what people should use DappRadar for.
Basically, if you heard about a blockchain, about some dApps, why should you use DappRadar? It's because it's the best way to have all the real information, like the number of users, the number of volume, the literally what is connected to this application, what kind of application available on this blockchain. Like, as an example, before you mentioned Avalanche, and I was a huge yield farmer on Avalanche. I need to be honest with that.
Okay, all right.
And with your application, what was amazing is I could find some new kind of yield farm available directly due to your application that I could not know by any other research I could have made before. So for me, DappRadar is literally the best things for screening every dApps on any DeFi ecosystem.
Nice. And we did not pay Kevin to say that. It was organic. I promise.
Absolutely. I promise. I promise.
That was very cool. Because sometimes if it comes from me, it's me. And I work for DappRadar. So it's very cool that you say it as well. So that's good. So we integrated Zilliqa back in the middle of May. It's been just over a month now. And how does it, like, what does it mean to Zilliqa to be on DappRadar? Like, have you seen a bump in any users? Like, what's the impact here?
I will not say we see a bump in, let's say, any new user. Of course, we have many new users joining, but it's mostly, even for me, it's helped me to track more of the new applications that's getting built on Zilliqa. Even if they are using, let's say, Zilhive, which is one of our incubator for creating new dApps, sometimes there is other applications that is not passing by this. And I know that they sometimes require to be listed on different kind of application, and notably you, DappRadar. So for me, it was a great way to track other application. Maybe a few of them I didn't know about it, and that was a great way to do it.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Kevin, because a lot of people think that each dApp is listed on the blockchain and that the blockchain instantly just knows who they are, what they do. But it's all quite self-serve in the dApp world, isn't it? So like you say, sometimes you can find projects that you didn't even know were building on your platform, and they're quite exciting. So awesome. That's a great benefit there, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to talk about the gaming side, the NFT side, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I just want to start off with the kind of tech stack of Zilliqa. How does it talk to me about that a little bit? Is it layer 1? Is it layer 2? Is it let's inform people what Zilliqa is all about and how it stacks up against competition out there at the moment?
Absolutely. So we are full layer 1. That means we created our own language for developing some different dApps on our ecosystem, which name is Scylla. At the same time, we will be soon EVM compatible. So that's another milestone for Zilliqa. On the second hand, when you are using, let's say, Zilliqa blockchain, like other EVM blockchain, you pay with the native token, which is ZIL token. And mostly, I cannot go so far deep, let's say, into the developer side because I'm not so good developers on my hand. But how to explain? Basically, if you want to explore more Zilliqa ecosystem, you can go on Zilstream. So you type ZELSTREAM M, Zilstream, and you will be able to see all our Dapps application, how to connect to it. You can create a wallet that's named ZilPay. You can also connect your ledger, and soon, and I say soon, the MetaMask integration also.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so branching out a little bit there as well. No, we don't need to go deep on the tech, man. Like, it's not about that. It's just, you know, you've got the main points out. I think that's really important. How about bridging into Zilliqa? Is it possible? Is there token bridges? How does that work?
Absolutely. So you can bridge directly. We're gonna have soon new bridge coming also, but already you can bridge from Ethereum blockchain, from Binance, from soon crypto.com, or maybe it's already available. I need to check today. I didn't. But you can already bridge from many different ways into Zilliqa ecosystem. I even posted a video on YouTube and explained it to people how to do it and how to make it the best way possible.
Nice, nice, nice. So we mentioned the Zilliqa token there. What role does it play in the ecosystem? Is it a gas token? How does it work?
Absolutely. So Zil is our native token. You can pay all the fees directly with the Zil token. So imagine if I make with you a transaction, it will cost me only 3 Zil. At the time of the price, I know that's true. We cannot really talk about price because of further things coming, but yeah, let's say it's cost almost nothing. It's as cheap as Polygon, or even sometime even cheaper. But you can use it as a gas token. You can also purchase NFT with it. You can use it soon in different. This will be another alpha, but soon you will be able to use it also in the gaming hub. So the Zil token basically have many different utility.
Okay, cool. Good to hear. So, all right, let's jump into what you guys are focusing on in 2022 and where you think things are headed for you guys. So we spoke about gaming just a moment ago, and we spoke about going head-to-head with kind of first-person shooter games. So can you tell us a bit about that, and also why Zilliqa is good for this kind of game? Like, I've not spoken to many people who are talking to me about first-person shooters on the blockchain. I'm really interested to hear more about this.
Absolutely. So as I said before, I was a pro player at Counter-Strike. For me, I always dreamed to develop a new type of FPS shooters into a blockchain. And the good things with Zilliqa before I joined them, they signed a lot of partnership with big esport team. The stuff is, imagine that basically most of the gamers are using Steam or let's say Epic Games. And most of the time, the economy behind it is fake real. That means it's still true. You spend some money to buy some skin, etc., but you cannot really get this money back. Or the stuff is, with Zilliqa, you will be basically able to get this money back because we are a blockchain. And for me, linking the gaming area with the blockchain make fully sense. Let's say the gamification was a real major things coming in 2021. And right now it seems super logical to develop more games, but with good graphics, good gameplay, at the same time, good refresh rates. And that's why our game right now, our FPS game, will be able to run until 240 FPS per second. And at the same time, this will be another alpha. We didn't reveal it yet, but definitely I will leak you a lot of info and alpha. Our game will run on 128 tick rate per second. That means your game with the server will be connected until 128 image per second. As an example, if you take Call of Duty, you take Battlefield or Apex Legends, they run at 20 tick rate per second. And us, we're gonna be so, let's say, almost 6 times higher. So it makes absolutely sense.
All right. Okay, cool. All right, 2 questions now from the back of that then, Kevin. Number 1, would Zilliqa look to work with brands such as, now that it sounds like you've kind of nailed this what you need, and you also have the technology to run such games, do you think Zilliqa will look to partner with brands like that, or are you going to build your own standalone games?
I should not disclose all the alpha, but absolutely. Absolutely. And at the same time, the good thing is So we have many partnership running in the back scene. We are not necessarily disclosing everything, but I can tell you we have many partnership incoming. At the same time, you will see soon in the new teaser of the game future partnership with big brands.
Okay.
And what else can I say? At the same time, I'm being careful to not reveal too much. You know, it's super hard, man. But I love it. I love it. That's a
You want
good
to
challenge.
talk about these things. You want to talk about these things, but at the same time, you also don't want to get a slap from your development team in the morning. So I get it, man. I get it entirely. Like, there's a lot of pressure. So, all right, no stress, no stress. So you said 128 tick rate, and then the tick rate of Counter-Strike is 20. You said so. You're like 5-6x better than the. Is that what you said?
Not from Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike is the only game so far that's run, let's say, at 64 tick rate in matchmaking. And when you see the major tournament streamed on Twitch, it's 128 tick rate. So we will be exactly the same number of tick rate. But any other game that's basically people are watching, like Call of Duty, like Apex Legends, they're all running at 20 tick rate. Just to give you a little info about that, sometime when you play into this kind of game and you hit the target, and you're sure you hit this target, and you'll be like, how is that possible? This guy is not dead yet. It's basically because the server didn't record the bullet hitting the target. But you saw it, you were on it. But the server didn't record it. That will not happen with our game.
Okay, I got it. You just basically explained anger for me many times. So that's good information, Kevin. That's good information. At this point, I just want to double check. Tiago, do we have you? Have you sorted yourself out? Are you there?
I think so. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, we're going to carry on. So the other question I have is,
you
so
muted him, I think, because I can hear him.
You can hear him?
Testing, 1 2 1 2. Kevin, can you hear me?
Tiago, we have you. We have you.
Oh,
Testing
great! Finally. Great.
So guys, I'll ask the questions. You guys can decide between yourselves who jumps in to answer them at this stage. Cool to hear from both of you, of course. All right, so the other question I had, just based on the back of what Kevin just said there, was obviously seen a lot of news around like traditional gamers not being that kind of overwhelmed with this kind of ownership of their items and blockchain being integrated into gaming. Now, I have my thoughts on this. I kind of think there's just a lack of education. What do you guys think about this? What would you say to people that are saying, you know, it's just not a good idea to put NFTs into gaming? I don't agree with that. What do you guys think?
Well, my firm belief is that the GPU market is the main culprit for the bad taste in the mouths of gamers, because basically they were unable to jump a generation ahead because all of the GPUs have gone to Ethereum, mainly Ethereum mining farms. So obviously there's this lack of availability in the market, and the price goes so higher than MSRP that, you know, gamers are legitimately, sorry for the expression, but pissed off with cryptocurrencies, and legitimately because they are not able to go to Amazon or any other vendor and grab any GPUs, because all the scalpers grab them beforehand, and all of a sudden, you know, in the secondary market, the prices just shoot up vertically, and it's totally unfair for the traditional gamers. Hopefully this will tone down with the advent of ETH 2.0, hopefully, and prices are already starting to drop. And I believe that, you know, because of this bad taste in the mouths, you know, of the gamers, because they can't get, you know, they can't upgrade the rigs. And if you look at the Steam, latest Steam statistics, most players are still on 1080, on NVIDIA 970, 980Xs or 1080, something like that. So yeah, what needs to happen is gamers need to be able to get hold of the latest, greatest GPU cards for their budget, be able to upgrade their rigs, and obviously, if you are not favorable to cryptocurrencies and all of a sudden you hear about these crazy JPEGs selling for millions of dollars called NFTs, and you don't really understand that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and all that you have been gaming for the past 10 years does not does not materialize into anything except for your victory stories that you can tell your friends. Things will change with NFTs, so all your investment in games will be able to add value in the future. So let's give these guys the benefit of the doubt. Let's wait like a year or two for this GPU market to self-regulate, and with the new generation of players, and as time goes on and people actually trying something. And again, this goes back to early internet. When you had an email and you had to do it on command line interface, no one would use it. It was just too cumbersome. If you use a technology that works and it serves a purpose, and you don't know what's underneath it, you don't know that it's running on blockchain, that is when we gain mass adoption, right? Because selling on secondary market has been happening since forever, even before NFT. Now it is just much more open and fair.
It never occurred to me, actually. I've never put those two things together with the increasing price of the hardware, gamers being a little bit, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've never thought of that, Tiago. Like, that's a new one for me, to be honest. But cool, good reasons, and I like the way that you said at the end there. Give them the benefit of the doubt. I think perhaps gamers maybe heard about these blockchain games and jumped into these GameFi games that Kevin was also saying at the beginning are a little bit weak, and yeah, they're not really games, are they? Do you think a few people perhaps jumped in there and got burnt and just thought that's what blockchain games are? How are we going to get them back and show them that we're doing new things?
I will say for me, everything come with the education of these people. Let's say I'm a gamer, and in fact, if you take Steam for me was one of the first gaming blockchain. Even if it's fully centralized, everything is centralized. But it is blockchain somehow, because you can play, earn some skins, sell it. It's kind of the same as an NFT. The stuff is you cannot take out this money. And why I think gamers, when they first tried, let's say, other games like Axie Infinity, and they were like, what is this graphics? I don't want to deny Axie Infinity, don't get me wrong, I even tried it.
Oh, yeah, it's different, right? Like, it's not...
It's different.
Like it's different. It's not about, like, high-end graphics, but they weren't to know that, right? Like, they just saw it's a game. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
Exactly. But you will see.
It's not to be taken lightly. It's not to be taken lightly, because Axie Infinity actually represented 2% of the GDP of Vietnam precisely 1 year ago. And this is like mind-blowing how something so crap as a game, but it actually represented 2% of the GDP of Vietnam. This is astonishing.
I'm with you there, Tiago, as well. I think I just want to be careful here. We're not saying Axie is bad. We're not saying that it's, we're saying it's different, and that real gamers used to like Call of Duty. If they came to Axie, they might be like, hang on a minute, this is not what
Absolutely. But they will come back. You will see every gamer has basically got any interest, and mostly in shooter game. And so far there is no shooter game or real shooter game as a competitive play on any blockchain. When they will start to see like major, huge esport team playing into this kind of game, they will move. They will definitely come. When we're gonna make our first opening match, you will see us playing against ninjas in pajamas, against the pros that play Counter-Strike. And for us as a team, it's gonna be amazing. Even if they're gonna destroy us, for sure, it's going to be funny. But at the same time, they will be like, okay, there is a big potential for it. It's kinda cool.
Yeah, it's about experience, isn't it? And about putting it in front of people. And I think we're a little bit away from like the end goal of gaming on the blockchain. I think we're quite far, but and people should remember that also as well. I think.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. So we're going to address the haters. We've got them nailed. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt, as Tiago rightly said. But let's we've spoken about games quite a lot here as well, and these games that we're talking about, these are more high end. Are you saying that we'll not see any of the more kind of simplistic games on Zilliqa? That you guys are just not really interested in that? I mean, if it launches, you're not going to complain about it, right? Like,
quite the opposite, actually. Even though it's high end in design and in ambition, our FPS game is purposely designed as a low polygon game. So the first time you see it, and if you have like a super high-end machine and you're playing the latest greatest game, you might say, hey, why this is like graphics from 10 years ago? Exactly, because we don't want just the privileged few to be able to play. We want people with 10 plus years hardware to be able to compete with, you know, the latest gaming rig, so that everyone is on the same ground, so that bandwidth is reduced, so that anyone can compete against anyone without discrimination. So that is the idea behind that.
It's a solid reason. Yeah, nice. I get that completely. So how about the... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little comment about that. We choose low poly because, first of all, not everyone have a great computer to play it. Some people have, let's say me, as an example, I have an amazing computer. I can run every game possible at the maximum resolution, but not everyone can do that. And that's why we want to let basically someone who have even a potato computer, sorry for the name, but it's true, a potato computer can run it super smooth. And at the same time being available to basically play the game, enjoy it with his friends, and have real fun. Because so far, every day I'm testing this game to fix any issue I can see, and there is almost none. It's still super funny.
Nice.
Plus,
Yeah,
plus, which is really important, it's PC, Mac, Linux, Android, and iOS. That is in the pipeline. Obviously, PC will be prioritized, but we have already some very excellent Alpha Mac as well. But yeah, the idea is for everyone to be able to play.
So in terms of, okay, cool. Like that's awesome, and I love that ethos as well, that you want people to be on the same playing field. I really like that. That's very yeah, it fits, right? How about user onboarding in the Zilliqa ecosystem? We've seen with chains like Wax, for example, they create this cloud wallet, they hide all the blockchain business in the background. Nobody really knows what's going on. They just know that they're playing a game or they're using a Dapp. How is Zilliqa dealing with this in terms of onboarding? You know, what's the process?
So I will explain much more about that. That's true, as you say, to reach the gaming community, or let's say the big people in general, how mother, how father, how families, they don't have the patience to learn how to work a blockchain, how to create a wallet, etc. The good thing is with our gaming hub, you will be able basically to just register yourself into this gaming hub, and it will create for you a wallet where all the secret phrase will be stored and secure. So you will be able basically to do everything as usual on the blockchain, but directly link with the gaming hub. We try to put the mass adoption the most easiest possible.
So you've tried to make it as simplistic as possible for people to jump in. That's a really important thing, I see, because obviously we've been looking at Dapps for years now. Well, I have, and see that onboarding is that sticky patch. But yeah, I think that a lot of people are moving in that direction right now to try and solve that problem, because yeah, it's critical, right? Like people don't want to dance around to try and get into something. I mean, some people always say that we as people are quite special. We're the ones who sit up at 2 a.m. on MetaMask moving things around. Most people don't want to do that, right? So it's going to be a big one for you guys moving forward. Okay, let's so gaming appears to be a big category that you're going after, and I think that's very cool. But let's talk about DeFi on Zilliqa, because obviously Zilliqa Dapps can range from NFTs to DeFi and gaming as well. What's the focus in regards to DeFi? We've seen a bit of a cool-off period right now. Talk to me about what the plans are for Zilliqa and DeFi.
So soon we're gonna have, it's a bit alpha, but soon we're gonna have much more apps built on Zilliqa with much more bridge with different blockchain. At the same time, we are trying to extend our blockchain to everything. Like, let's say also with the GameFi, the DeFi, the yield farm, the lending and borrowing, everything what you can already see in, let's say, not our competitors, because we are all a big family in crypto in general, but mostly everything that you see on other blockchain, you will be able to do it in Zilliqa also, but with different type of reward, with different type of NFTs. We don't aim for, let's say, the apes as every blockchain have, but mostly for some artists, like they can promote their art into Zilliqa and directly show them to the people, to expose them. And this concept is a bit different that I've seen on other blockchain. We have really big brand name, big artists also, and they want to be able to use Zilliqa to show their art to everyone.
Not all about sort of PFP collections and things like that, but moving in the direction of more kind of curated art.
Absolutely, absolutely. Was I mute?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I was scared that I blocked my microphone. My bad. I'm so sorry.
No, but it would be good to give a quick refresh to the audience here, because it's everything is so natural to us because we're part of the Zilliqa team. But let me just give you a quick refresh, particularly because we have been focusing quite a lot on the gaming side. So as Kevin mentioned, these things will all link together. So our metaverse, our NFT marketplace, even our gaming hub, they will interlink. But mainly, we are coming out with a platform called Rialto. It's a curated luxury artist/brand marketplace that links the digital NFT with the actual physical representation. Not a digital twin, but certification of authenticity or stuff like that. You will be able to buy it. You will receive it physically, and then you will be able to interact with it in the metaverse. Now, speaking about the metaverse really quick, we have a platform which is called Metapolis, and it's a metaverse as a service. The first metaverse rolling out, is Zilliqa City. And as Kevin mentioned, brands will be able to interact with our own metaverse, or if they so choose, they can ask us to custom spec a metaverse for them. High resolution, low resolution, big, small, 1950s theme, futuristic theme, whatever you think of, we will create for you. So this is very exciting. It's the new generation of the internet that we're building. Everyone is building, and we are so very happy because it's going to be an exciting year. All of these are coming out this year. Okay, so Rialto is coming out in the next week with an S, maybe. I don't want to give it. Then we will come out with the Zilliqa City, and the game is scheduled to release by the end of this year. So it's going to be a really interesting and dynamic year.
Wow. So Metapolis is, as you said, a metaverse as a service. So the first one is like is this like your case study to kind of showcase what it's capable of? This the one. Sorry, I forgot the name. Zil, you said.
Zilliqa City. Zilliqa City.
Like a showcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Of what it's capable of, right?
Precisely. So obviously we do have a roadmap. So what we're coming out with Zilliqa City, it is not the full bells and whistles. We are rolling out in stages because we cannot predict, what the adoption rate is going to be like. The stress load on servers. We don't know if 100,000 people are going to show up or only 10 people are going to show up on day one. So we have to be careful so that things don't crash and burn. And even in terms of functionality, we are going to be releasing on a regular schedule, new feature sets that will amplify the user experience within the metaverse, the Metapolis capabilities. We also, I cannot disclose who, but some of our partners are also have already halfway through designing their own metaverses. Which are really cool, completely different concepts, completely different community engagement strategies. It's a different crowd. Each metaverse is supposed to be, catered to one specific niche. But the cool thing about Metapolis, that's what's really great, is that it's going to be interoperable. So you will be able to travel inside this magnificent universe, parallel universe, this metaverse, and natively go to Zilliqa City, go to other metaverses within Metapolis, and just have this unified experience in terms of feature set.
Nice. That sounds really cool, man. All right, I'm going to take a question from the audience, guys, and then I've got a couple of questions just off the back of what you were saying there, Tiago, because that's super interesting stuff. So, Baldy, are you there?
How's it going?
How are you doing, man? I hope you're good.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Hey, got you.
All right. So I hate to go back on, because I'm loving what you're saying right now, but back to the first-person shooter, and you're talking about frame rates and killing someone when you're actually the one who's got killed. You're saying that people with a weaker computer could do it all, but what about, how does that affect? How is the internet speeds and the ping? Does that help with that as well?
You mean for the refresh rate and mostly the tick rates? Yes. So let's say for the ping, we will try our best to give it the lowest possible. So far, we are testing it internally, so I cannot disclose everything about that. But our main goal, of course, is to reduce it as much as possible to have the best performance possible, and at the same time that the player connecting with the server can have the maximum bandwidth. Does it answer your question?
And also there are natural physical limitations, like, for example, Australia, which is considered, a tier 1 geography, is notoriously known for being isolated in terms of internet bandwidth and ping. So if you're a pro gamer, you will never be in Australia because you will shoot and only half an hour later the bullet will reach the other side of the planet. But what Kevin is saying is
basically.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, our hopes is that within a reasonably natural modern internet connection, but basically the limitation will not be your potato computer or your connectivity, it will be your skill. That is what we are aiming for.
That's what I'm hoping for too. I'm excited. Thanks, guys.
Cool.
That's amazing.
Good question. I didn't think of that one. All right. So, we're talking about Metapolis, and I had a couple of questions based off that because you're talking about it as a service, and it makes me think. I know you don't have to reveal any names or anything like that, but a lot of what's going on with metaverses and NFTs right now feels like marketing. And is some of these metaverse things being used as in that way? As like customer interaction. I don't know how much you can say about this, but maybe just your thoughts on that as well, in the direction it's going.
I mean, it's buzzwords, right? So every marketing department is always checking on Google Trends for the latest, greatest word or keyword to try to capitalize on. Any 2D game or 3D game now calls itself a metaverse of some sorts because that is the trend. It is much more than that. It's difficult to explain in simple terms. It is a way for brands to get in touch with their audience at a much deeper level of interaction. It's a way for you to take control of your digital self and your digital identity. It is what is going to promote the creator economy and avoid middlemen and connect brands and artists directly with their fans and audience. So it is all about the experience. I mean, I remember when Amazon came about and everyone said, no, this is never going to substitute going to the mall. Well, guess what? Sunday afternoon, people will sit at home, eat popcorn and order all day long on Amazon, get delivered straight to the door instead of getting up off the couch and going to the mall physically. So this is what's going to happen next. You will be able to have, for example, you buy not only, for example, you buy an NFT on Rialto and get a T-shirt and have that digital representation and walk about the metaverse and have like your unique presence and your unique avatar, but you will also be able to go into shops and try out clothes and look at yourself in a virtual mirror and have a sense of how it would look like instead of just looking at a static 2D image on a catalog. You will be able to look at cars in 3D and look inside and outside and underneath and on top and have this much more immersive experience. So this is the real power that the metaverse has. So be wary when you see people using the term metaverse and it's just a 3D game. That is not what a metaverse is about.
I definitely couldn't agree more there as well. But wait a minute, you just said there that I can go to a shop and try on a metaverse item. Were you describing I'm going to a physical shop and being able to kind of test out metaverse items?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this is up to the brands to implement. But if you have a 3D environment and for example, an NFT gallery and you have NFT displayed and you go and you check them out and you look at it and you see it and you like it and you buy it, the same goes to, clothes. You might go into a, like, for example, Grand Theft Auto. That, I love that game. I remember, spending a lot of my time instead of doing mission, just cruising around, going into shops, trying a hat, trying some eyeglasses. Now, imagine that happening. And when you go to checkout, a couple of days later, that item arrives at your doorstep. It is completely different from browsing Amazon for static images and imagining how that would look like on yourself. Now, obviously, we're not going to create precise digital representations of your physical body, but the level of immersion will allow you to have a good sense, much better than a static 2D image.
Yeah. That's really cool. I get it now. I get it. Sorry, I got a little bit confused there. That makes, yeah, of course, it's like Ready Player One, right? That's where we're hurtling towards in the reality of the world, it looks like. All right, I just want to get into a few announcements from you guys as well, because I saw recently some news about Zilliqa SDKs, and this is to kind of bring game developers closer to you guys. Talk to me a little bit about this. Is this it's the Unity SDK, right?
Absolutely. So if you're Unity developers, you can always use this SDK to build your own, let's say, games, to build your own IDs, every stuff you can imagine. You can try it and build it with this SDK. It's easy to use, and literally, come join us.
Nice. Okay, so this is like an out call to Unity devs to kind of, because that was one of my questions. Like, obviously, the environment right now is not the happiest. Prices are down, but we don't care because that's not what we care about, right? We care about the tech. What are
Can
you
I
guys
just
gonna...
add something about that? When
Of
the
course.
market is down, that's actually mean you can spot which projects are really building, trying to innovate. And it's during these moments where it's not a financial advice, don't get me wrong. I will never suggest you anything, but simply, guys, when the market is down, you can be super frustrated. You may be not sold at the top or anything. But at the same time, it's the best moment for any devs to build, to be like, what can I do next? In which blockchain shall I build? What are the tools available for me to create? And I can tell you a lot of developers are looking right now how to develop more their skills, to develop more new application, what could be built for the future.
It makes a lot of sense. What's Zilliqa doing to kind of reach out to dev teams? Are you incentivizing? Are you doing hackathons? Is there anything like this that any devs out there may be listening, they can get involved with?
Yes. So again, this is all a bit alpha. I can't reveal everything right now, but yes, we do have some hackathons going through our partner Zilliqa coming soon. Obviously, on my side, which is leading the DevRel department, is I am actually waiting for, not waiting, obviously we are doing the groundwork, but we are preparing for that EVM rollout, because that is going to just smoothen the ride for developers who are already experienced with Solidity. They don't need necessarily to learn a new scripting language, our native scripting language called Scylla. So it will be so much easier to onboard developers and just port over projects and just fork code instead of building from scratch. So having said this, yes, please do be on the lookout. We will have grants, we will have hackathons. The ambassadorship is being built. Right now I'm focusing more on the community ambassadorship, and next is going to be the developer ambassador, which is a specific subset. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities. The team is scaling. This is not to say that the ambassadorship is not a stepping stone to being hired for Zilliqa, but that's not to say that we don't find talent within the community. We are actively looking for talent within the community and outside. So if you are excited about this AMA, if you look at Zilliqa with this new refreshed lens, the team is scaling. We are aggressively scaling to become a top contender in terms of industry, and we will for sure be the de facto gaming chain. So yeah, come join us, come join our social channels. We'll be happy to onboard you now. And if not, just keep an eye out for the future. We'll have very exciting events happening.
Awesome. So it sounds like it's a case of you're just getting closer to that point. You want to get things in order first before you start attracting devs. And I think that's very smart and an excellent way to go about things as well. It's quite nice to be in this bear market sometimes. I think it gives a refreshed sense of, I don't know, like we can go a little bit slower perhaps than we usually do in this space. It feels like lightning most of the time. It's crazy. All right, cool. So we've got a lot of alpha revealed today, guys. Thank you very much. I've got a question here from Gulf Wars. Hopefully he's here. Have we got you there?
Hi, good evening.
Hey, we can hear you. How you doing?
I'm great. I hope you all are also doing well.
Absolutely.
What's your question?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you one thing. Like you said that in the multiverse there would be various collaboration with various other metaverse projects. So, like, will there be facility of using NFT of one metaverse into the another one? And another thing is that, like you mentioned that Unity SDK is being used for will be used and. Are there any chances that there will be more collaboration with the Metaverse project which are using that same Unity SDK?
That's a good question.
Those are but those are two different things. So the SDK is specific to gaming. It is not. Does not tie in with with Metapolis. Metapolis is an independent project coded differently. The SDK is really geared for gaming, and it's not only we're starting with Unity, but there are plans for Unreal Engine moving forward, of course. Now, to address your question, if the NFTs can be used between metaverses. That is absolutely the idea, to be interoperable. So Metapolis, which is like our metaverse as a service, will have many individual metaverses. For example, Zilliqa City. Now, let's say that we create a Gulf Wars metaverse, and we create it to your specifications, targeting your audience, your niche, your community. You will be able to say, if you allow NFTs to be ported from one metaverse to another, because it might be interesting for you, it might not be interesting for you. So the idea is for the entire metaverse within Zilliqa to be interoperable, so people can freely travel and take their collections with them, take their avatars with them, and the interaction become fluid. But each metaverse will be individual, and the people who actually we develop the metaverse for you, but you as the owner of the metaverse get to say exactly what features you want or don't want to happen.
Good question, I think.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gulf Wars. Awesome question. All righty, guys. All right, we're getting towards the end of the session now, so I just want to. But there's one more thing actually that I saw in the news that I want you guys. I don't know. Hopefully, you know about it. That you've struck a deal with Token Tracks to make music more rewarding using NFTs, satisfying fans. Can you guys talk about this a little bit? It's more use case of NFTs on Zilliqa, right?
Big shout out to Tommy D. Yeah, Token Tracks. Yes, absolutely. I can't say much about Token Tracks because they are an independent project outside of Zilliqa. It's not being developed directly by Zilliqa. And to be honest, I haven't circled back with them in quite a while. They have many plans. They are still in development mode, so I really cannot give any updates on their behalf, to be honest.
All good, not a problem. But yeah, it's Token Tracks, Zilliqa. There's bits of information out there about it, so it sounds like an ongoing partnership that's happening there as well. All right, cool, guys. We're getting towards the end, as I said, so I want to give you both the opportunity to shout out anything that you feel we haven't discussed here, anything you think is important for people to understand about Zilliqa, and obviously what's going to come out. I think you've already kind of said most things, but let's, it up a little bit with like what people should be looking forward to for the rest of the year from Zilliqa.
Absolutely. So I will just suggest to people, follow us on Twitter. You will have all the last information. We always share everything on Twitter. We are really active. You can join us on Discord. You can use also DappRadar to check our ecosystem with a huge pleasure. And cool. Thank you, Jan, for inviting us on this AMA. It was really a pleasure. Thank you for all to have listened to us. It's always a pleasure to talk with the community, you know. So thanks everyone for that.
Okay, anything you want to add?
Yep. Thank you very much. It was an honor and a pleasure to connect with your community. I hope this happens again, and I hope to have you guys come to our Discord as well sometime soon for an AMA as well. And to summarize, your question, and this is a call to action. Come join us. Come join us. We are on the verge of releasing. We are actively building, as Kevin said, and rightly so. While others are panicking and cutting losses and running away, we are building with a smile on our face because we are so excited. It's been this fascinating experience joining Zilliqa and meeting not only like-minded people, but people who are so passionate about what they're doing, and this will surely translate in our product releases. So yeah, exciting times ahead. Rialto, the curated luxury NFT marketplace, is coming out in the next week or coming weeks, but I think it's next week. Then we will have Zilliqa City, the first version, very alpha, very let's touch base with this rollout and then start adding more and more features. And then by the end of this year, our first-person shooter. And if you are curious about the FPS game, go on Google right now and just type Zilliqa Map 2. That's my favorite one. There are a couple of more, but that's my favorite one. You will have a sense of a very alpha, non-multiplayer version, but you'll get to get a taste of what it's going to look like.
Cool. All right, that's really, really cool. And also, Tiago, when you were talking then about having the smiling faces, excited times, I feel it. I feel it from both of you in this AMA today, and maybe you can feel it from me a little bit, because at DappRadar we feel exactly the same. Like, we're like, as you rightly said, a lot of things are going bad right now, but we're all kind of like, this is great, this is brilliant, this is kind of our moment to shine. So I feel you both 100%, and I would implore people to go and check out Zilliqa and everything they're doing. And yeah, we'll put some other stuff in the Discord at the end as well, so people can hit up those links. Right, so thank you to the 2 questions. We will sort you guys out with the prizes at the back end. I just want to thank both my guests again. My apologies for the tech issues. It's let's blame Discord, right? But yeah, thank you both for your time. I know how busy you are and that you're both building hectically over there. So thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate your time. All right.
Thanks to you. Thanks for developing this amazing application. Even before joining Zilliqa, I was already using it, and I can tell you it's really amazing job. So thanks again. And I'm not paid for saying that.
You can come back on the show, right? Like, yeah, Tiago, you said, I hope we meet soon. I'm pretty sure we're going to meet soon. I like you guys. This was a good, fun chat. And most of all, I hope that the listeners got a good sense of what Zilliqa is all about. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the headlines and lose focus on what these guys are talking about. And they're right. You will find the serious contenders over the next few years. So it's important to pay attention and listen up, and also listen to the people behind the projects. The news is one thing, but when you listen to the people doing the daily work, it makes a difference, I think. So yeah, thank you guys. Tomorrow here on Discord.
One final word. I'd just like to say a big hi to the wonderful Patrick, Skidmatis, and Dragos. They're very great guys, and yeah, you have a great project here, and we are very, very supportive of DappRadar.
Awesome. Yeah, like as you said earlier in the chat, this world is about collaboration, and we all feel like what DappRadar does is elevate everybody else, to our own benefit. So we love to work with projects like you guys. Like, we love that, so it's great. I'll make sure they get the message. I'm sure they're smiling on the listening in at home right now. All right, so tomorrow, Thursday, on Discord, 3 p.m. UTC, we've got Dapp Market Movers. I think it's Pedro and Modesta tomorrow, and they're going to be talking about the recent events in the crypto market and what's going on there. So tune in, and you can kind of understand what is happening out there. There's a lot happening, so yeah, good to tune in. And don't forget, as I mentioned at the beginning, contribute to earn. It's launched. Go to DappRadar, check on the blog, you'll find everything you need, or go over to Twitter, you'll also see all the links you need over there. So that's it from me. Thank you everybody for listening. I hope you all learned something. Thank you to my guests, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again.
Thank you everyone. Have a lovely day, and see you for sure soon.